Do you see a way that this could be structured as a policy or even framed as an idea that could get broad Washington support and could move money quickly? I mean, I'm an American living through this just like anybody is, but the idea that cops and firefighters and teachers and people who work as sanitation workers and people who work at the water department and other people who just do basic utility stuff that we need to keep ourselves together, that they're at risk right now of furloughs, gives me a great sense of urgency around this. And I feel like you can read the politics as well as anybody. Do you see a way that this will get politically fixed?
I think there's two things that may work in our favor. One is I think as this starts to bite, people get a much better sense of what we're really talking about. Lots of people say, well, I'm against government. And then you say, well, do you think we should have fewer school teachers? Do you think we should have, hollow out our fire departments? Do you think that we need to lay off policemen? They say no. And they would say, well, that's what state and local government is. State and local government is overwhelmingly education, first responders, public security, highways. It's things that we all depend on. The other thing is that, governors, even Republican governors, for the most part, I mean, they're not DeSantis, but for the most part, Republican governors are aware of what's really happening here. And if they imagine, if Mitch McConnell imagines that somehow this is only a New York problem, or a New Jersey problem, whatever, he's going to very quickly hear from governors of red states that they're in as much trouble, and in some ways maybe even in more trouble. I'm looking at this a bit and saying, look, places like Florida and Texas depend almost totally on sales taxes, whereas New York or California depend on income taxes, and probably the sales tax revenue is going to fall faster than the income tax revenue. So this is going to be, we're going to see desperate budget situations in Republican states. And hopefully the governors, the legislatures of those places will be burning up the phone lines to the Senate and saying, Mitch, this may sound great to you, but if you look at what's actually happening to us on the ground, we need that money, and it's not at all hard to do. You could do this in a day. It wouldn't be a perfect bill, but you could save us from what would be otherwise catastrophic cuts in public services.
Really important point about those sort of coming political incentives. New York Times columnist, Nobel Prize winning economist Paul Krugman, it's great to see you. Thanks for your time tonight. Really appreciate it.
Great to be on. Thank you.